And we'll ask the first delegation, Michelle Sikora, to come forward. And Michelle is speaking about the S&M Medicinal Sweet Shop and a residential notice on title. Welcome. And once you're ready, you just push the microphone and I'll turn it on, but take your time to get settled. Welcome.
Good evening, Your Worship, members of Council. I'm here before you this evening due to an order that was imposed upon us by the District of Sechelt regarding a large blue tarp that was placed on our property because we felt our privacy was being invaded upon. I'd like to show you what these are. These cameras were placed on our neighbor's home, directly looking into our bedroom and our yard and monitoring every movement that we made. Just thought I'd give a little bit of a visual there. And then I'm just going to briefly give everybody a little bit of a refresher course on our charter rights. Section 7 of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms guarantees the right to life, liberty, and personal security of all Canadians. It also demands that the government respect the basic principles of justice whenever it intrudes on those rights. Section 15 of the Charter of Rights and Freedom, equal rights. Every individual is equal before and under the law and has the right to equal protection and equal benefit of the law without discrimination. The Supreme Court of Canada has stated that the purpose of Section 15 is to protect those groups who suffer social, political, and legal disadvantages in society. Discrimination occurs where, for example, a person, because of a personal characteristic or belief, suffers disadvantages or is denied opportunities to other members of society. This means that the government must not discriminate on any of these grounds in its laws or programs. I will inform you now that the tarp has been removed, hence the reason why I have the cameras here with me today. Not because of the order imposed by the District of Sechelt, but because we finally had a decent human being move in next door to us. This family understood the invasion of privacy these cameras have caused. I don't understand how the District of Sechelt bylaw enforcement officer did not see that when she came to our home on February 18th. This order was imposed upon us based on community charter laws. It was stated that under Section 74, the property was deemed to be a nuisance, stemming from complaints from other neighbors. The same neighbors that have made several false statements to the District of Sechelt and to the RCMP. I cannot get into those issues at this time as both of these matters are before the courts. I can say that there is currently an investigation being done by the police commissioner regarding these issues with the RCMP and the neighbors. It has been ongoing for several months now. Section 64 of the Community Charter, the authority of council under Section 8(3)(h) may be exercised in relation to the following: nuisance, noise, vibration, odor, dust, illumination, or any other objectionable situation that is liable to disturb the quiet, peace, rest, enjoyment of individuals or the public. We feel that the District of Sechelt could have in fact tried to remedy the situation, not by ordering the removal of the tarp, which was protecting our privacy, but by requesting the neighbors either remove the several cameras or to position them in such a way as not to disturb our right to quiet, rest, peace, and enjoyment, as stated in the Community Charter. We view the actions of our neighbor at the time to be of an objectionable situation, and the District of Sechelt could have dealt with the issue in a fair and equal benefit to all as mandated in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, Section 15, the supreme law. However, now that the tarp has been removed, the issue is somewhat moot at this time. I would like to remind the Council, however, that privacy is a fundamental human right, which is protected under the supreme law of the land, the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Michelle. Any clarifications from Council?
Questions?
No questions. It's a complex issue. I don't want to debate with you tonight on the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. I agree with you that And other councillors also agree that the district needs to be very careful in neighborhood disputes and to ensure that institutional authority isn't used inappropriately.
Thank you very much for your time this evening.
Oh, sorry, Councillor Mueller.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just had one question. You raised the issue of charter rights today. That's a very important issue for all Canadians, and I'm just curious if that issue was ever raised in any of your interactions with staff.
It was, yes, it was. Back in May and April, when all this first issue started up, which is the other issue that's going to be before the court with the District of Sechelt May 18th and the bylaw officer over the inflatable air dancer that was in our yard, I said many, many times that this is an infraction of our Charter Right Section 2B, the freedom of right of speech. There was nothing hate about that inflatable air dancer that we had up. It had the word marijuana. And I find it odd that in the last couple of months, there's been people in Gibson's with holding up signs that say that there are only two genders, which in this day and age is somewhat promoting hate and intolerance to some people. Some people may not understand that. However, the RCMP took the stance that they weren't going to do anything about it because those people had a right to freedom of speech. Where was our freedom of speech? It was taken away from us.
Thank you.
That was the second issue. On enforcement of the Charter of Rights and Freedom, Section 34 is the key element. And again, it's probably not the time and place to talk about where rights are and how they exist, but the Canadian Charter of Rights is something that applies to you and to us, but is enforced and agreed to by the national government and only the national government. Councillor Inkster.
Thank you. So, Michelle, obviously the cameras were given to you by the neighbor, the new neighbor that we've heard, so yep. They took them down finally. It's too bad they didn't do it immediately upon going into their premises and give you some sense of privacy and so that you could take down the tarp. But obviously they finally got to it. They handed them to you for demonstration and you were able to take down the tarp. That's probably how it went, right?
I do have one question. Yeah. I understand that there was a closed meeting regarding this issue, and I believe that the RCMP were involved. Through the investigating officer in Vancouver, who's doing the internal investigation, she made me aware that she was told that these cameras were fake and dummy cameras. So again, it goes to my question, why were they allowed to be kept up? That's a whole other matter. But I'm not sure if the District of Sechelt were told that they were fake and dummy cameras. There were batteries on one of these cameras, which means it was being controlled remotely. So somebody could have been watching us anywhere. And I don't think anybody in this room would like that feeling when you walk out your door and have to look at these cameras. That tarp that was put up was right beside our bedroom. Having to open your blinds every single morning and see this tarp there because someone is so obsessed that they need to be spying on your every single movement. You know, and because of what we believe in and what we do, we've never hid what we do. We're cannabis activists. That's who we are. And I believe in this day and age, this is going to be worldwide. People have to need to get educated about the matter. I mean, discriminating against us isn't the way to go. In the state of Hawaii, they just passed a law that it is illegal to discriminate against medical marijuana users and cannabis activists. And that's what's happening across our country right now.